Suffering is just an idea that the mind creates. It's purely created in the mind. It doesn't exist until the mind tells you it exists. It's kind of like the color blue. I mean, until the mind interprets it as blue, it's just a wavelength that doesn't have a color. Suffering is the same. It's not outside of the mind. Something happens and you perceive it, and then your mind interprets it. And your mind says, this is bad, this is wrong, this should not be so. And when that happens, you suffer. But maybe your next door neighbor or your friend observes the same thing happening, but they don't suffer. So it's not the thing which causes the suffering, it's the interpretation that the mind comes up with that causes the suffering. So for instance, the elections, right? Maybe you wanted Trump to win and he lost, so you suffer. And you say, oh, I'm suffering because Trump lost and because he should have won. But that's just an idea in your head. So perhaps your neighbor or your friend wanted Biden to win and they're happy. Because in their mind they say he should have won and he did win, so that's great. So the reaction is nothing to do with what happened, it's with how your mind interpreted it. As soon as the mind says something is bad or labels it as bad, you suffer. But this goes for everything. Every time you suffer, it's because your mind has interpreted the event somehow. Your mind has told you that it's wrong and that it's bad and that it shouldn't have happened. So suffering is literally just the experience of resistance in your mind to something. When you resist the way something is, you suffer. If you don't resist the way something is, you don't suffer. And you're at peace and you're happy, even if the external circumstance is the same. So what that means is suffering is 100% your fault. It's 100% created by you. All of your suffering is created by you in your mind. Which also means 100% of your suffering is avoidable. It's in your hands. You don't have to change the world in order to be happy. You can't change the world. You can't control everything. You can't make everything the way you want it to be. And even if you do, it's always at risk of changing. Nothing is stable. Nothing stays the same way forever. But if you do stop resisting the way everything is, you can stop suffering completely. You can literally cut out 100% of suffering. It's easier said than done, but it's possible.